Welcome to my channel. Subscribe, listen and enjoy my stories every day. The dazzling lights of the Marlow circus tent bathed everything in an ethereal glow, the crowd's anticipation palpable in the cool evening air. From the shadows, I watched as my wife, Eliza, took the center stage with Leon, her juggling partner. Their act, a mesmerizing dance of flying pins, was the highlight of the show, drawing gasps and applause with each daring throw and catch. "Isn't she amazing?" whispered a spectator beside me, her eyes wide with excitement. I nodded, forcing a smile. My pride in Eliza's skills was genuine, but lately, something about her partnership with Leon left me uneasy. Their performance concluded with a final, flawless exchange of pins, their bodies mere inches apart. The audience erupted into cheers, a standing ovation that echoed under the big top. I clapped along, my hands mechanically coming together, as I watched them take their bows, their eyes locked in a moment of triumph. As the crowd began to disperse, I made my way backstage. I wanted to congratulate Eliza, to see the joy in her eyes, but also to dispel the nagging doubts that had been plaguing me for weeks. Maybe seeing her after the show would reassure me that it was all in my head, that they were just partners, nothing more. I slipped through the performer's entrance, the familiar smell of sweat and sawdust greeting me. The hallway was bustling with artists and stagehands, all winding down from the night's adrenaline rush. I navigated through the chaos, heading towards Eliza's dressing room. The door was ajar, a sliver of light spilling into the dim corridor. "Eliza?" I called out softly as I pushed the door open. No answer. My heart hammered in my chest as I stepped inside, the sounds of the hallway fading behind me. The sight that greeted me was nothing like I had imagined. There, in the half-light of the dressing room, was Eliza and Leon, far too close, far too intimate. Leon's hands were on her, and the pins, their pins, were part of a game that turned my stomach. The room spun around me as I stood frozen, the noise of my heartbeat loud in my ears. I wanted to scream, to tear him away from her, but my body wouldn't obey. Instead, my voice came out as a strangled whisper, "Eliza." They startled apart, guilt written all over their faces. Eliza's eyes, wide with shock, met mine, and in them, I saw the truth I had refused to see. "James, she started, her voice trembling. "How long?" I managed to choke out, my hands balling into fists. "It's not what it looks like," Leon interjected quickly, his tone defensive. He moved to grab his shirt, covering up the undeniable evidence of their betrayal. "Save it," I spat, the cold edge in my voice surprising even me. "I trusted you, Eliza. With everything." I turned on my heel and left, the sound of her calling my name chasing me down the hallway. Outside, the night air felt sharp against my skin. I needed to think, to plan. My mind raced through the possibilities, anger and betrayal curdling into something darker, something vengeful. As I walked away from the circus tent, the cheers of the crowd still echoing behind me, I made a decision. Eliza's career, her reputation, she had made her choice, and now, I would make mine. The morning after the show, the air is crisp, hinting at the approach of autumn. I haven't slept at all, my mind replaying last night's betrayal over and over. I need allies if I'm to expose Eliza and Leon, and I know just where to start. I arrive early at the circus, the performers' trailers a maze of secrets and silent judgments. My first stop is at Maggie's door, the seamstress, notorious for knowing more than she should about everyone here. I knock sharply. "Who's it at this ungodly hour?" Maggie's voice is muffled through the thin door. "It's James," I reply. The door swings open almost immediately, her eyes narrowing as she takes in my haggard appearance. "What's got you up with the crows, James?" "I need information, Maggie. About Eliza and Leon." She ushers me inside, her gaze wary. "Come on then, spill it." As I recount last night's events, her expression shifts from surprise to sympathy. By the time I finish, she's shaking her head. I suspected as much, but hoped I was wrong for your sake. Do you know if anyone else is aware? I ask, my voice desperate for any edge I can use. Maggie ponders for a moment. You might want to talk to Alex, the lighting tech. He sees all from up there in the rigging. Grateful for a lead, I thank her and head toward the main tent where I find Alex coiling cables near the stage. His face is neutral when I approach, but his eyes are cautious. James, man, what's up? He greets, putting down his tools. I need your help, Alex. It's about Eliza and Leon. His expression stiffens, then softens. I thought something was off with those two. What do you need? Anything you've seen. Times, places. I need evidence. Alex nods slowly, understanding dawning. I've seen them together, more than just partners should be. I'll write down what I know. Meet me here after the show tonight. Armed with this new alliance, I spend the day preparing, my resolve hardening. As evening falls, the circus comes alive once more, but the magic feels hollow. I watch from the wings as Eliza and Leon perform, their act as flawless as ever. But now, the cheers sound like mockery in my ears. After the show, I meet with Alex. He hands me a piece of paper with dates and times, places where he saw Eliza and Leon together, not just at the circus but outside too. Thanks, Alex. This helps a lot, I say, my mind racing with possibilities. No problem, man. We look out for each other here. With evidence in hand, I feel a grim satisfaction. It's time to plan my next move. As I walk back to my car, my phone vibrates. It's a message from an unknown number. We need to talk. Tomorrow. Cafe by the river. 8 a.m. Curiosity piqued, I pocket my phone, the wheels turning. Whoever this is, they're about to become part of my plan too. The next morning dawns gray and overcast, the clouds hanging low as if to mirror the turmoil in my heart. I arrive at the cafe by the river, scanning the sparse early patrons for someone who seems to be waiting for me. A man in a dark jacket, sitting alone at a corner table, catches my attention. His eyes meet mine, and he nods slightly. I approach, my footsteps echoing on the wooden floor. You wanted to talk? I ask, sliding into the chair opposite him. Yes, James. I'm Eric, he says, his voice low and serious. He's not a face I recognize from the circus, which piques my curiosity even further. What's this about? I press, leaning forward. I'm a private investigator, Eric begins, and I stiffen. Before you get any ideas, I was hired to look into some irregularities at Marlowe Circus, not specifically your wife. My interest sharpens. What kind of irregularities? Financial discrepancies, mostly. But in my line of work, you find out more than just the financials, he explains, glancing around before continuing. I've seen your wife and Leon. Not just at the circus. I nod, keeping my expression neutral while inside, a storm brews. And you think this ties into your investigation how? Eric leans in closer. It's not just about an affair, James. There's more at stake here. I believe Leon is involved in some shady deals, possibly siphoning funds from the circus, and using his relationship with your wife as a cover. This revelation adds a new layer of betrayal. Not only has Eliza been unfaithful, but she might also be complicit in something that could ruin the circus, a place I've called home for years. I need solid proof, I say resolutely. And I believe I can get it, Eric replies, his eyes sharp. But I need your help. I've seen you around, you know the ins and outs. Together, we could expose everything. Count me in, I say without hesitation. The desire for revenge, now mingled with the need to protect the circus, seals my decision. We spend the next hour devising a plan. Eric needs access to certain areas of the circus during show times, places he can't go without arousing suspicion. That's where I come in. In return, he'll share all the information he gathers, not just about the financials but everything connected to Eliza and Leon. As we part ways, the weight of the conspiracy presses down on me, yet there's a fiery determination within me too. I'm not just a cuckolded husband now, I'm a key player in bringing down a scheme that threatens more than just my marriage. The rest of the day passes in a blur of activity. I get Eric the passes he needs to move freely around the circus, and we set up hidden cameras in strategic locations. Each step feels like moving pieces on a chessboard, positioning ourselves for a checkmate. That night, as I lie awake in bed, the events of the past few days replay over and over in my mind. Betrayal, deceit, and now, a larger conspiracy. I'm in the middle of it all, playing a game that I never wanted to be part of. But there's no turning back now. Tomorrow, the show goes on, and so does our plan. And I'll be watching, waiting for the moment when all the secrets spill out, ready to reclaim what's mine and protect what I love. The circus is buzzing with energy tonight, but beneath the surface, there's an undercurrent of tension that only a few are aware of. I'm one of them. As the performers prepare, I glance over at Eliza and Leon, their laughter reaching me across the tent. It stings, but my focus is on the bigger picture now. As the crowd starts pouring in, Eric positions himself near the main tent's control booth, disguised as part of the tech crew. I watch from behind the scenes, my hand clasped around the tiny remote that controls the cameras we've installed. Tonight, everything changes. The show begins, a spectacle of lights and sounds, and the performers dazzle the audience. Eliza and Leon take the stage for their act, the spotlight making them shine like stars. I press the button on the remote, activating the cameras, capturing every moment. Midway through the act, as planned, the lights flicker ominously, drawing gasps from the crowd. This is Eric's doing, a diversion to sneak into Leon's locker without being noticed. The lights stabilize, and the show goes on, but the real performance is happening offstage. I receive a text from Eric, "Got it. Meet me outside." I slip away, my heart pounding, and find Eric waiting with a folder in hand. "This is it," he says, handing it to me. Inside are bank statements, emails, and photos, undeniable proof of Leon's embezzlement and his and Eliza's involvement. "Let's end this," I say, my voice steady. We return to the tent just as the finale starts. As the performers take their final bows, I head to the center of the ring, the evidence folder in hand. The audience, thinking it's part of the show, falls silent in anticipation. "Ladies and gentlemen," I begin, my voice echoing through the microphone. "Tonight, you've seen a show filled with wonder. But behind the scenes, there's been another act, one of deceit and theft." The crowd murmurs, their confusion palpable. Eliza and Leon look at me, shock and fear crossing their faces. I have here proof that Leon, with the help of an accomplice, has been stealing from the circus. And that accomplice is none other than my wife, Eliza. Gasps and whispers fill the tent. Eliza steps forward, tears streaming down her face. "James, save your apologies. It's over," I cut her off, the hurt too deep to allow any excuses. Security arrives, and I hand them the folder. As they escort Leon and Eliza out, the betrayal I feel is complete. The crowd is left stunned, the scandal unfolding before them better than any circus act. Weeks later, the circus is recovering. Leon and Eliza are facing charges, and the circus's finances are stabilizing. As for me, I've taken over some of the management roles, ensuring this never happens again. One evening, as I walk through the now peaceful tents, Maggie joins me. "You did the right thing, James," she says. "I know," I reply. "But it doesn't make it any easier." The circus continues, the shows go on, and the performers dazzle. But for me, it's no longer just entertainment, it's a reminder of the betrayal I uncovered. As the lights go up for another performance, I realize this is my new life. Watching from the sidelines, protecting what I love, but forever changed by the acts of deception I uncovered. The circus is my home, but it's also the place where my heart was broken, where I learned that sometimes, the greatest show on earth hides the darkest secrets behind the curtain.